What's going on, guys? Jonathan Burr here with another edition of Road to the Platform. Today we're talking a little bit about box squatting. So the question is, to box squat or not to box squat? Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this, but I have nothing to do with box squatting. I'm not a big fan of it, and I just don't use it. Now, there's a lot of people a lot stronger than me out there that box squat. Donnie Thompson's one that comes to mind. Everybody from Westside Barbell, all those guys are, box squatters. But to me, from being at meets, in general, a lot of guys who have trouble getting to depth are guys who box squat, just because they don't do enough free squatting, so they're not used to finding that exact point of when they're at depth and coming up. They tend to search for the box, which of course goes against the whole teaching of the box. I understand that, but that is just what seems to happen. Now, with that being said, most people watching this are probably going to be raw lifters. And by raw, I mean no equipment, maybe knee wraps. To me, that's still raw, but that's a different subject altogether as well. And in general, their stance is going to be a more narrow stance. The box squat is typically going to be more beneficial to a person who's using a wide stance, really learning to activate the glute and hams. Not that they're not activated with a narrow stance, but typically from people that I have seen in my time in training is that people who squat with a narrow stance tend to have larger quads, and typically if you have larger quads, it's probably what you're going to be using more. Now, Louis Simmons is going to tell you that, the whole spiel about quad activation in the box squat, and I am not denying that man is right, because believe me, he knows a lot more than I do, and he's trained a hell of a lot more stronger people than me. I'm just trying to speak on from what I know in my experience. Now, so as a beginner and intermediate lifter, do I think box squats are a necessity in your training program? No, I do not. Do I think they could be beneficial from time to time? Sure. Use them as an explosive movement, use them as a gauge of finding depth, whatever it may be. But I think if you're predominantly box squatting, you will have depth issues, and it will not produce to the form that you're probably going to use as a raw lifter. Again, these are just my opinions, and they're just based off my time under the bar and from traveling and doing meets and various other ventures. So I'm prepared to get ripped for this one. I understand. If so, so be it. But in my opinion, the box squat is not a necessity. It's not something you have to have. If you're worried about your depth and you're using it to gauge your depth, go down, think you're at parallel, go a couple more inches, and then you'll be in there. Until next time.